For Connecticut Public Radio, today we have someone that AudioFilm has described as no such thing as having a comfort zone for this artist. That he is, right, quote, from the Family Reviews, chock full of something, and we're not sure what it is exactly. And then Stereo Stickman, with the whip-smart lyrics and unconventional arrangements, feed into a portrait of an artist with clear ideas, which is certainly the case here. Right now, ladies and gentlemen, you can't see it, but I am live and in person with Matthew Danger Lippman on the streets of New York. And,
we're in person.
We are in person, yeah. And the first question... Oh, shit, where are you?
We're wandering.
Wandering, yeah. Oh, that makes me think of Gallo. But before I get sidetracked, so I ask everybody, every interview I've ever done, 2 questions. And so the first one, of course, is, how are you doing today, MDL?
Not too bad. It's not the best day, not the worst day. I had the day off. I got some falafel. And, yeah. Past that, yeah, you know, just trying to get this shite off the ground, you know? Feeling like leaning into the eccentric side.
Yeah. That's not a bad idea, you know? And then leaning into where you are is, what street are you at right now?
Knickerbocker and Schaefer. Right near my new place. Where are you? You're in Connecticut?
I lived there when I started this, but right now I'm in a small town in Massachusetts called Wilbraham.
Oh, yeah.
You know
I like Massachusetts.
Oh, really? Oh, okay.
No, not exactly, but what's it near?
Springfield.
You know, when in 2007 when the Simpsons movie came out, and they had that whole campaign to try to see which Springfield would be the Springfield that the Simpsons is set in. I remember my mom was saying that it really obviously is Springfield, Mass. My mom's from Boston.
Oh, sweet. Okay.
But I think Springfield, Illinois. No, I don't think it was Illinois. I think it was like kind of an out of the beaten path Springfield that ended up winning, and they got to have like all this cool stuff happen.
Yeah, no, I remember because our town, the city was pissed. But it also, your mom's right, it clearly is Springfield, Mass. But I think it was either Ohio won or Illinois. Probably Illinois, because Sufjan Stevens and stuff.
Yeah, I think it was Illinois. It might not be, though. It might be an even weirder Springfield. But, yeah, I mean, they got, like, the fake JFK mayor, you know.
Yeah, dude, yeah, no, that's exact. Because, yeah, dude, okay, your mom knows. Okay.
Yeah.
But speaking of weird Springfield, and to incorporate weird, I love this new album. And it's not exactly weird per se, but how many times have you seen the Tom Green masterpiece, Freddy Got Fingered? And what did that film do to your brain? Because it seems like it makes its way through the album opener and quite a lot. Also, Maddie, would you like some sausage?
Daddy, would you like some sausage? Daddy, would you like some sausages? I've probably seen it like 7 times, maybe 8.
Damn, okay.
Maybe 10, I don't know. I feel like I remember most of the times. But you know what I mean? I don't think that's a movie that you like, you don't catch it on Turner Classic Movies. No. Like, I feel like every time I've watched it, it's been with purpose. Most of them have gone really well. One time, my college girlfriend and some of her friends, we watched it on a laptop in a dorm room, and I just remember that one going really badly.
Yeah.
But I've seen it. Yeah, I've seen it a lot of times. And I talked to Mr. Tom Green about it. I guess it probably did make its way in, and that I think that there's some poetic potency in, you know, peeing and weird dream logic, vulgarity that isn't fully like poop jokes, I guess. You know, like the weirder end of things.
When you're talking about watching the movie in college, was it your older girlfriend's idea to put it on, or was it your idea to watch Freddy Got Fingered?
I think she was vaguely a fan and her friends were, but we had a friend who was having like a bit of a bad mental health streak, and like she kind of rolled through and was like totally silent And for some reason, like, the idea that bandied about that we were going to watch Freddie Got Fingered, and she was just, like, in a deeply bad place, and, like, I was kind of giggling, and a couple of the other girls were kind of giggling, but, like, you know, like, the overall, there's kind of a funereal vibe in there, and, like, that movie's humor is just so ridiculous, like, outsized ridiculous, that, like, if you don't find it funny, it's like such an assault on the senses for 90 minutes. Yeah. So, but even that went well. I think I still thought it was funny, but and still kind of proved what I like about it. But it is better when a fair amount of people watching it like it. You know.
Yeah. Every time I watch it, I feel very proud. Very proud.
Yeah. Proud.
So going off of Rip Torn's Pride, may he R.I.P. in peace, each song on this album, dude, I love Rip Torn. Each song on this album has a somber and fun sound, like getting lost in the woods on a rainy day all alone. It's never truly depressing enough to get a 45 Magnum out and loaded, but there's just enough gloom to make you start grinning as it starts to pour. So, what moment in your life did you realize that you were capable of being such a humble talent?
Humble talent? No one's ever called me that before. I'll take it. You mean, like, specifically in terms of, like, some of the sad songs on this, or just in general?
I think what I'm looking for when I wrote this was there ever a moment, whether you're playing music or you're writing lyrics, where you're, not to be like, oh, egocentrical, like, holy shit, I'm good at this, but that you could be like, you know, if I keep pushing, I'll be able to play at rooftop shows. I'll be able to make a brand name type of thing. Sure.
As far as humble talent goes, I've always thought of my stuff as kind of funny. And I've always had a distaste for, like, the faux, humble, sickly, college kid, PC, goofball shtick that a lot of, I think, indie rockers do, where, you know, like, they're, like, looking at their shoes and they're just so thankful that you came out. And it just, like, always irritated me, because my thing is, like, all right, well, fucking, you know, if you can't believe anyone else is watching your shit, then why should I, you know? So I think a lot of my live stuff and a lot of the songs I wrote were, like, kind of intentionally going against that to a certain degree, and, like, writing about things and performing in ways that would embarrass people whose shtick is to be humble, you know, because I don't really buy into it a lot of the time. But all that being said, I think when I was younger, it was a little bit more slapsticky, and at a certain point, I found that mode of writing in this weird way, so the songs actually just started becoming kind of sad and emotionally valid for me regardless, or maybe because of it, you know. There's, like, a certain diaristic quality that I felt like I think, like, can get to maybe, like, a deeper place than some of the stock imagery and stock lyrics that a lot of people I see try, you know.
So when you're talking about stock lyrics, just give us an example of something.
I just feel like every band out there and a lot of the singer-songwriters, like, you know, like, I don't know, if our fucking Dives lyrics that good, like, I feel like it's just, like, in the sun, you were the one, you know, like, not to diss them specifically, but, like, you know what I mean? Like, I don't think people are writing lyrics that stand up when you read them out, or that have something that are bracing or imply, like, a certain viewpoint that isn't just kind of like some good vibes, you know, or maybe some bad vibes. I don't know. I guess I'm trying to think who, like, I mean, I love Beck, but, like, late period Beck, you listen to those lyrics and it's so meaningless, you know? It's like it's like a 40-year-old guy, 50-year-old guy trying to do some like fake beat poetry, you know? There's no bite in like any of the non sequiturs. Like, I don't know. That's why I love like David Berman stuff, or I'm trying to think who else really gets like that. Or I mean Leonard Cohen, like
nice.
You know, they might like late Leonard Cohen, like they can surprise you. They can have some feel like non sequiturs, like Jazz Police or something, but you still understand how there's a discipline to the songwriting, you know? There's like a concept that they're returning to and they're trying to flesh out in almost like a mathematical sense, you know?
Yeah. No, I know what you mean, and I'm a big David Byrne fan. Also, you got to.
I said David Berman, Silver Jews, but I love David Byrne too. I mean, I think.
Oh, David Berman. Okay, gotcha.
A lot of David Byrne lyrics actually, I think, can hold up to that too. I mean, like, you know, the Fear of Music era, Talking Head stuff. Like, there's, you know, it's not just like the lyrics are kind of dominate the musical soundscape. You know, hold on to that paper.
Yeah, I mean, it was about a minute ago what you were saying when you're talking about kind of fleshing out ideas, and in the back of my mind, for whatever reason, I was thinking of Lou Reed and Velvet Underground's "Who Loves the Sun" type of stuff.
Oh, sure, yeah.
But like the song "When I Was 18," I think the first two, maybe it's because I knew Set Up already, but when it gets to that third track, it's a real highlight for me. It's very relatable. I think a lot of people are going to love that one, but I also think it's a song where your voice is shining as bright as early 80s Jack Nicholson. So now, dude, yeah, it's awesome. But like now you're 26 years old, and kind of a puff piece question, but you're very thorough with stuff. What are the biggest differences between the Matthew Danger Lippman then and the Matthew Danger Lippman before my post-acid eyes today?
I'd say, you know, I feel like I'm more like when I was 18 than when I was like 23, 24. But I'd say the biggest thing is that I was very anxious, and I guess how I feel now is that I've kind of trained myself or just learned how to cope with some of these maybe not manic, but like these social moods or these needs to make art or to write things and to accept that they're going to be misinterpreted or ignored. I feel like when I was 18, I was doing a bunch of acid, and I was kind of obsessed with these ideas of greatness, you know? And I feel like that is, that's kind of, I think that's just the road to ruin for a lot of young people, because, you know, every moment is supposed to be the moment where the greatness is unveiled, or like the perfection you feel like you're capable of is going to happen. And I think in the intervening years, I've learned that just doing something small that's pretty good that a few people like, and doing it well a few times in a row is actually worth so much more than like whatever kind of Brian Wilson mania you think you're capable of. You know what I mean?
That's when I was listening to his Girls on the Beach earlier, and maybe like down the road work on something together. But like, would you? Well, it's not even. I'll probably edit this part out. But would you ever cover the Beach Boys or something like that?
Yeah, I just covered. I just wasn't made for these times in Kingston a few weeks ago.
Dude, get out of here! That's awesome. Whoa.
I'm a huge Beach Boys guy.
I love that song.
They're the best.
Yeah, dude. What did you? I know perfectly well I'm not where I should be. How'd you do it with the band, or was it just you doing it?
It was a duo show. It was me and my friend Maggie Littleton.
Shut up, man.
Who's in some great bands back in the day. We put on a duo set because I got asked to play the show, and my band wasn't around, so we just kind of put our own little set together. So it was like it was a acoustic guitar and drums, but
Sick.
it was nice. He sang some backups on it, and it came together real well.
Nice.
Yeah, no, but I love Beach Boyz. All of that to say, I think loving the Beach Boyz. I mean, you know the feeling, I'm sure, like when you're a teenager and you get kind of exposed to like the psychedelic realms, and you also read a lot of biographies about your favorite artists, and you understand that the way to do it is to, you know, move to New York with no money and drop out of college and burn a bunch of bridges, and like you kind of inherit this wisdom that I think is ultimately kind of false, or at the very least constructed after the fact by people that end up getting a better head on their shoulders, you know?
Oh, yeah.
And I feel like, I don't know, I guess I just feel like there's a way to balance this this kind of chasm that exists in between being like a spastic artist where you're willing to kind of destroy everything, and then becoming like the normie you always feared that you'd become when you're in high school, you know? So that's my answer. That's the difference between 18-year-old me and me now, is that I feel like I understand the balance a little better.
Gotcha. Dude, well, thank you for sharing that, because the next part that I got to get to is your description of once you get low, you gotta start flying, baby, is, quote, I kind of imagine it as something Jimmy Stewart would say in a 50s movie. It's kind of a dumb little pep talk. The album's supposed to be like that, too. It can get a little dark, but what's good music without some gospel? Which that's like a cream cheese frosting on top of some nice golden yellow cake. But this is pretty damn accurate in my opinion. Could you tell listeners the benefits of hearing dumb little pep talks in a world where cynicism and irony are often considered kings of the trade, especially after you're talking about the indie music thing and people staring at their shoes? Yeah.
I guess my thing is that I think the inherited wisdom is that things that are positive or pep talks are contrived or phony or not deep, and that things that are cynical and biting are unveiling something a little deeper, right? But I also feel like cynicism, it just isn't an end to itself. Like I think a lot of cool stuff can be made with that outlook or that attitude, but that it's I also think it's a dead end. And my boy David Foster Wallace, who I loved in college, also wrote about how easy. There we go. I mean, I'm a lapsed fan, but like he definitely changed my life. He's the best. But I mean, he talks about how irony is co-opted by advertising, right? You know, and how irony is kind of at its core a lack of values or outlook, and that if you don't construct one yourself, you end up just kind of stuck at this vulnerable place where the only thing that can fill it is advertising and self-doubt and anxiety. Okay. So I do think that, if you can construct a positive framework for yourself that is fully felt and that is interrogated and thought through, then you really you kind of kill shit a little. You feel good. So I think a lot of these songs are they feel for me like kind of hard-won truths of the past 2 years. They're not ironic poses, but they're not just open and shut, like do this and eat your veggies and you'll be good. It's more of like a tempered, balanced outlook. Like when I was 18 is I talk about how doing acid did make me into kind of a spastic mess for a bit, but also that it taught me some things that I don't think I would have understood necessarily without it. It's like some point you have to, you have to clear out your own path. You say, yes, it all makes sense to me. You gotta make some things up for yourself.
Yeah. It's when you're talking about David Foster Wallace, I I immediately thought of that David Lynch article he wrote where he talks about the first time seeing him is he's peeing on a miniature tree. And maybe there's something to that. I can't remember the exact thing that you said, but not like the honesty of pissing, but there's something to that. That just made me think of that for a second. But yeah, so the next segment, a little bit different than talking about cynicism or irony, but the past 4 interviews I've done, people seem to get a kick out of this part. So, Matthew David Lippman, would you like to play a game of Kill, Marry, Fuck?
Yeah, for sure.
Okay, so I've only got one for you, but 3 Jimmies. Oh, shit. We lost him, folks. Yeah, he's back. All right. Nice.
Sorry, I had my downtime scheduled. I saw that was about to happen, but I failed to stop it. Go on. Are you recording?
Yeah, I got it. It's still gone. But
okay, yeah, let's do it.
Also,
Fuck, marry, kill.
All right. So here we go. The 3 Jimmies. Jimmy Stewart, Jimmy Page, and Jimmy Neutron.
Wow. Well,
take your time.
I mean, the obvious one that I want to go for is kill Jimmy Neutron because he's a child. So I can't say fuck. He's a grade school boy.
Not that he's a cartoon. It's the child. I got you. Okay. Yeah.
But I'm also. I mean, he's a boy genius, and I mean, I feel like whatever he could do would be worth sticking around for, in some of his later years. Sense of security. I mean, definitely fuck Jimmy Page because he's a sex guy. He got the white pants, and he's a savage with it. But I wouldn't want to marry the guy. He's got like a fucking girlfriend that's my age right now, which is sick, honestly. Because he's like,
does he really?
I found her on Instagram. Yeah, she's like a blonde, like 26-year-old poet. Not dissing her. She seems funny. I mean, she's fucking dating Jimmy Page. I can't say anything.
Damn, dude. Okay.
I can't say anything that would affect her life. And Jimmy Stewart, obviously, I mean, the guy rocks. I don't know anything about his personal life. I don't know if any of the leading men of that era were really thoughtful lovers. But then again, he's cooler than Jimmy Neutron, who's kind of a dork. So I'll go with my initial impulse, and I'll say kill Jimmy Neutron, fuck Jimmy Page, and marry good old James Stewart.
You heard it here first, folks. MDL. He's killing Jimmy Neutron. He's fucking Jimmy Page. And he's marrying Jimmy Stewart. Thank you for
Jimmy
doing
Stewart.
that.
The fans are going to be shocked.
Dude, yeah. That was really funny, though. The way I'm going to look. Send me her handle if you can, his current girlfriend. That's interesting.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, I will.
But, all right, next one. I mean, there's a theme of cartoon children. I didn't realize it. You're often seen rocking an Eric Cartman t-shirt. What is your favorite episode of South Park and why?
Oh, man. Favorite episode of South Park? Actually, one of the times when I was 18 and did acid with my buddy Will, I'm about to meet up with, at like 7 or 8 a.m. after staying up all night, we put on the World of Warcraft episode.
Classic.
And for whatever reason, like the comic timing of the opening, like 30 seconds of these like wide shots of the World of Warcraft CGI landscape, and then like Eric's voice is like, "What the hell, guys!" Like it's like 40 seconds. The episode the timing of that just made me like cry for several minutes from laughter. I just thought that was the funniest thing ever. Might not be my favorite episode, but that's just one that sticks out to me as it was important.
Yeah, that's with my brother, we always joke around about the Sword of a Thousand Truths, and then that one line they say where it's like, This man has absolutely no life.
Yeah.
So good.
So good.
Oh man, George Lucas is calling me. I'm not gonna answer that.
Screw him.
Yes, fuck that guy. All right. So next, a little bit of a spin on the user submitted question. I've got a viewer submitted anecdote from someone that kind of knows you.
Oh wow.
So Whitley Watson, through her friend Chris, ended up seeing you perform on a rooftop and was absolutely floored by your talent. So, adding to your lore, this led you to getting booked for her club video summer block party.
That's right.
Quote, Whitley says,
stories about Matt. I don't know. I like Matt a lot, and we've met very briefly though, but I know him through my friend Chris, and I went to see him perform on a rooftop, and I was like, oh, my friend's band, but he was like so incredible that I was like, holy shit, I have to book him we did the club video summer block party, so we had him come to that, and he was just like, he's just such an incredible performer, and he like takes his shoes off and stuff, and he's just also such a humble guy. Like, of all the other bands we booked, we kind of like, they were just so like difficult, I know, but he was just like so cool, so down, had such a good time. I think he's such a funny guy. But I'm trying to think if I don't know that I've had that many like, I don't know that like any kind of like narwhal style factoids about him, but I'll let you know if I think of any.
Which, just meeting you now, absolutely Jimmy Neutron. So
Jimmy Neutron as fuck.
Yeah, dude.
I got Whitley her current relationship, I'll say.
Really?
She's okay with saying that. Well, because she's dating my former roommate. Because after the club video show, there's rumors that they wanted to hang, and I passed the numbers along, and now they're dating. So
on the story, is it the tall guy that she's always taking photos?
Yeah,
Dude,
Taylor.
Let's fucking go, MDL. Good. All right.
Yeah.
All right.
That was my roommate.
Nice.
I love Whitley. I love the club video show. It's fucking awesome. She's the best. That's some magical countercultural programming right there.
I was just gonna say, in some type of psychedelic sense, I'm very glad I randomly reached out to her. But so the part that I was gonna ask is, so going off of Whitley's experience seeing you live at the block party, I'm wondering, what does Matthew Danger Lippman love most about himself? What makes MDL kick so much ASS?
What I love most about myself, huh?
Besides setting up her Bruno Kirby, Carrie Fisher style in a When Harry Met Sally scenario.
Right.
That's pretty good.
I guess what I like most about myself is just that I would not want to be anyone else, you know? Not in a bragging way, but I just can't imagine being anyone else. So, I crack myself up from time to time. I think I'm kind of a funny guy. And I feel confident in my abilities to understand the world for the most part. Not necessarily in terms of the media landscape or how certain things become popular, and my stuff has not become that popular. I don't understand that part, but in terms of people's sensibilities and intuition, I always feel like I end up feeling pretty fine with the world. So I like that.
Yo, good answer, because that's that type of question. I don't even know if a lot of people would be able to answer it. They get kind of down on themselves.
For sure.
But
I know, yeah. I know a bunch of dorks that be like, I don't like anything about myself. And it's like, all right, well, fucking don't go on Connecticut public radio, you know?
You're damn right, MD. Dude, we got to have you back. This next, I got a few more for you, but Baby X5, the guitar work is all over the place in all the best ways. And it's got some milkshake, earthquake, intense tone to boot. So
that's right.
Baseline question: how long have you been playing guitar for? And what was the first song you remember learning and being like, I fucking got this?
The first song I remember learning?
Yeah.
I started when I was 11. You know what's funny is that the guitar on that song that's the only guitar I think on the album not played by me. I played the rhythm, but the weird like SpongeBob guitar was played by my guy Andrew Foreman, who co-produced the album and just like kills it. And he's like a jazzer. I learned some things with him honestly in terms of the playing on that. But I've been playing since I was 11.
Nice.
And I feel like the first songs I really remember like trying to learn. I remember playing White Riot by The Clash in my room a bunch.
Okay.
Like I had the amp, and that song is just like A to D, A D, A D, E E A, I think, something like that. But just real distorted. I remember doing that for like fucking 40 minutes one time.
Nice.
And Territorial Pissings by Nirvana, of course, you know.
I don't even know that one, which is sad. I should know that.
So never mind.
Territorial Pissings?
That's when it's like, come on, give around, small your butter.
Dude, yeah. You gotta treat one another right now.
Yep.
Dude, yeah, I forgot that was Nirvana.
Now. Yeah.
We were riding an incredible wave. Hunter Thompson. All right.
Oh, yeah, that's
dude,
right.
Actually, and that's a perfect segue, not to say spoiler things or NDAs with MDL, but like myself, you are quite a, quote, Vincent Gallo scholar.
That's right. How can I not be?
Dude, the shirt, man.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, this is, I won't add to the lore, whatever. But what do you think about him considering he is the greatest artist to ever exist?
What do I like about Vinnie G? You know what I like about him is that he is a true aesthete. He's got an incredible sense of composition and color. And I always kind of shit-talk the Brown Bunny, but I ended up seeing it at the Roxy with my girl, Lucia. She got tickets and it was on 35 millimeter, and I realized that the cinematography, I mean, when you watch it on a computer in like 480p, it looks really slapdash. But watching it on like as big as a wall, I realized how purposeful and kind of like insane the compositions are. I'm jealous of that because I'd like to be that. You know, I'm trying to get better at like making my album covers and stuff and like the kind of deranged focus that he has. But he's really good at it. He's got a great eye, and I admire that he has the blue collar Buffalo Boy aesthetic and the pro America rag, but he does it with such finesse and such high art style, and that's what I admire most about him.
What does it mean, in your opinion, to be a true Buffalo boy?
You just don't really fit in all the way, you know?
Cool.
At least when you leave the farm. You just don't... people come from everywhere else. They come from Montana, or they come from Oregon, or they come from Northern California, and they all just effortlessly know how to talk with other artists and, you know, look good at their photo shoots and their parties. And the Buff Boys, you're just always a bit of a goddamn freak, and you're always a bit of a normie. And it can be a cursed combination, but I think it's the key to speaking to America. You know, that's the combo.
Dude, absolutely. Okay. Thank you for the depth of that. At some point, I'm going to send a few clips to him to see if I can get a response, because the effort you put into sending that picture and stuff, I guarantee you he'll be like, oh, no, I remember him. He was a nice guy. He wore a red coat. He had a golden necklace. Yeah. He talked about his sister who was handicapped. I don't know.
Yeah.
But, like, all right, so talking about your album.
Beth. I love VG.
dude, he's my man. I love him very much. But so with your album, what you're just talking about, once you get low, you got to start flying, baby. The aesthetic of the cover, it not only like it invites you the same way my grandpa's old Herb Albert and the Tijuana Brass things do, but except in a sexy woman with whipped cream, it's you just being like, I'm falling to my death. So exactly 1 month from now, that album is going to drop, and I believe firmly that this beauty is going to take off faster than the ambulance that brings Daisy to the hospital at the end of the Brown Bunny. So, with that in mind, what are your plans for future projects that people need to know?
Honestly, I already have the next album fucking recorded.
Oh, really? Shit, dude. Nice. Okay.
And I think it's even better. I was just mixing it today. I recorded with my boy Hunt Davidson, who did some of the good Porches records back when Porches albums were good. He worked on the good ones.
Nice, dude. Okay.
Let's go.
Yeah.
And other than that, I'm hoping to do more acting stuff. My buddy Jordan Tatuski's trying to make another movie, and he promised me a good role in this one because I ended up kind of getting kicked out of the last one, Hannah Ha Ha. Not kicked out, but
cut?
Yeah, the scene was cut. It was kind of not a fucked up scene. The scene, we tried to film it like outside a Taco Bell.
Okay.
It was open, and it just wasn't really working. So I'm supposed to get he says he's going to need me for 10 days for this next one. I don't believe him, frankly, at all, but I'm going to try to hold to it because I do like the film stuff, and I think it's more fun than music. Not in making it, but just in terms of the the culture around it. It just feels healthier to me, I think. And it's fun. So, yeah. And, try to tour some more, trying to do the good work.
I think you're certainly doing that. So then I can't wait for the next album because, dude, this one, like, it's my favorite. I'm going to do the review in about a week or two for promo, but so far it's the best album I've heard all year. And, like,
hell yeah.
Dude, when it got, I won't edit this out, but when it got to the breakdown guitar part, it makes sense now that that's someone else that helped produce the album for you. Because, like, when that's, from what I remember, it's the only song that it does the, what's that Elvis song, Caught in a Trap? It does the fade out.
Yeah, of course, yeah.
And then it goes right back in.
Suspicious Minds.
That's, dude, yes. Territorial Pissing, Suspicious Minds, the same song.
Yeah.
But,
I know, that's what I was referencing. I ended up doing the fade out, fade in, like right before setting it to the masterer because I just like, I felt like that song, like, rather than try to sustain this like slapdash momentum of like going on for like another like 4 instrumental rounds, like I had a feeling it was so goofy. I was like, you know what? They'll want this song to be over, and then we're gonna bring it back in for another go around. Yeah. I was doing a Suspicious Minds, but like in some like weird pitched up SpongeBob breakup song way.
Exactly, dude. Because that's the thing. The first time I heard it, I was like, this is all over the place, and then it literally goes away, and then when it comes back with the shit all over the place, I'm like, yeah, okay, cool.
Hell yeah.
Right,
that song made me a little nervous putting on the album. Like, I just feel like, not nervous, but like, I just feel like having kind of like a goofball song as track 4 is like a relic of the CD age when you bought the damn CD, so either keep listening or don't, versus like, these mofos are so fickle today. Like, I really try to make this thing like an album, and I don't necessarily know if there's many people who are equipped to even listen to shit that way anymore, but I hope they are, and if not, screw them. The song, they could turn it off. I don't care.
It's a bounce. It's like it's your Cape Cod Kwassa Kwassa in a sense.
For sure, yeah. But as was producing the next one, him and Aaron Main and Vinnie Gallo and
I'm trying not to get hyped up, but yeah, at some point I'll talk to you maybe after I cap this last question about VG stuff. But so the last question, you made it through. I don't know, this 14 or whatever. We had some bonus ones in there. We had a viewer submitted anecdote from Whitley Watson herself. But
we love Whitley.
Every single interview I've ever done, I asked two questions. One, how you doing today? And then, since my first interview with Asher Roth almost 10 years ago, I asked him to describe in detail your ideal perfect breakfast. And I got my first, he's a super nice guy, not negative at all, kind of mellow like yourself. But, like, his response still is glued into the fabric of my mind of him just being like, hey, man, that's a really great question, man. Yeah. So,
hell yeah.
Matthew Danger Lippman. For the fans, for the listeners of Connecticut Public Radio, describe in as much detail as possible your ideal, perfect breakfast. If you're having orange juice, is it some pulp? Will there be ice cubes in it? If you're putting peanut butter on an apple, are we going smooth, my friend? Are we going chunky peanut butter? Will there be pancakes or waffles?
You know, I'll say a breakfast that I love to have on the daily, but I'll try to get a little bit more like this is perfect world. We got a nice Americano.
Nice. Okay.
With a little bit of oat milk. I don't care what the peeps say these days. I still like it. An apple.
All right.
Coconut yogurt with those little flax seeds or whatever, and some granola in it. 2 eggs, over easy. Swiss cheese on them, and rye toast with raspberry jam.
Nice.
And 3 strips of bacon.
Okay, and with the eggs, or anything actually, is any hot sauce going to be included, if you could, or is that not a thing that's approachable in the morning?
I feel like I've been successfully shamed by people into incorporating some hot sauce into my white boy diet. So I like some hot sauce that is flavorful, kind of salty, and has some sting to it, but isn't like just super overbearingly hot. And I do some like little dot type dabs, you know.
Yeah.
It's not getting squirted all over. It's like when I want that hot sauce bite, I will just dab a tiny little bit onto that bite and then see how we're doing, you know, or maybe just a Doppler effect on top.
Yeah.
But conservative with the hot sauce and no ketchup ever.
Nice.
Ideally, unless it's a shitty burger.
Okay.
Or a shitty hot dog. I don't know. I mean, I'm not a very healthy guy by any means, but for whatever reason, ketchup was one of the first things where in my mind I was like, I can do without ketchup, right?
Yeah.
You know. So there's no ketchup on the eggs. I mean, that's psycho behavior as far as I'm concerned.
I agree. I do agree. Yeah.
But that's a good breakfast for me.
All right. Thank you for answering that in as much detail as possible. The other interview I had today... The other interview I had today with Connor, he told me it's a theme of white boy diets. But what he said is...
What'd you say with who?
King Kong 2K11. It's a theme of white boy diets, use the same type of phrase. And what he said was he just has orange juice and then a low dose of magic mushrooms. So I appreciate you for the thoroughness there. But
that's a good breakfast too.
Yeah, man, I really lucked out today. The quality of interviews has been incredible. But that's all I have for you, Matt.
Hell yeah. That was fun.
Thank you. Yeah, I hope to... Well, I mean, yeah, I'll just say, I hope to work with you in the future. Acting-wise, that would be awesome. And then hopefully... I didn't see in the press kit about tour dates, but I definitely want to come back up in New York. I'd like to see you live, and I want to see. Well, Whitley sold me Car World Water. She's so nice, but I barely know her, and like, it seems like the environment that you handle and talk with people with is very, very cool. So I'd like to be a part of that.
Hell yeah, it's a great scene. The New York comedy scene is fucking awesome. Yeah. Better than the musicians, let me tell you that.
Yeah, all right. Then with that as a sound off, thank you for your time today, and have fun with the homie tonight.
You man. Yeah, we'll talk soon. And I enjoyed this quite a bit.
Sweet.